They're just super fine people. I kind of keep up with them on Facebook. Very nice. I enjoy being around the Lustig people. Out of Pennsylvania. How many people here from Pennsylvania? Where's my Pennsylvania people? All right. 8810, I go.
Lots of other people can do.
Stop right there. If you're a mortgage holder, I'm going to show you one simple trick that'll pay your home off in
Here we go, Jordan Lustig, ladies and gentlemen. Paint code LS 8810. Here he comes, an alcohol burner, the Silver Bullet. Give him a round of applause. Awesome looking tractor, the Silver.
Jordan Lustig earned his family's 6th championship and 3rd consecutive with a popular Silver Bullet AGCO 8810. Throughout much of the season, this class featured a 2-tractor battle between Lustig's Silver Bullet and extremely armed and dangerous International Threat, a new tractor owned by Mike Chiswick and driven by Terry Blackburn. The Chiswick transport team came out strong by winning the first hook in Tomah, Wisconsin. Lustig earned his first win of the season a couple of weeks later in Troy, Missouri, and Blackburn countered with his second win in Jerseyville, Illinois. Lustig fought right back to sweep both hooks in Fort Recovery, Ohio, and take a 1-point lead over Blackburn. In Monroe, Michigan, Lustig won his 3rd consecutive pull and did not relinquish the points lead from there. End the season in style, Lustig won the division's last hook in Wellington, Ohio. All told, the Silver Bullet and Lustig's won 7 times out, and consistent finishes carried them to this, their 6th championship. Please welcome to the stage your 2011 NTPA Grand National Champion Superstock Division, Mr. Jordan Lustig.
Welcome, everybody. Monday, April 10th. You know how fast this year is going?
Yeah, welcome back, I should say.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
That's right, because I was in Florida.
Yeah, you were.
I was in Florida last week.
And you kind of
I was watching the show in the Charlotte airport.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of got delayed, didn't you?
A lot of comments about how I take too many vacations. Sometimes they're for work. Stacey Butson actually.
Yes, he was picking on you.
Actually said that a little bit. So, 75 degrees in Wisconsin yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't beat that.
A little rain going on right now. So.
And now we're down in the 50s.
Yeah. And I've seen Boyds are in the fields, and following Facebook, a lot of people
funny.
send us pictures in the field and stuff like that. So exciting show tonight. We're gonna have Misty Lustig with us. Of course, the wife of Jordan Lustig, the Silver Bullet. We've been kind of led on with some videos of that awesome tractor. And everybody knows Chuck's in the house. So let us know where you're watching from, everybody tonight.
Yeah, we got Edgerton already.
We want to know what questions you
Ohio.
have for Jordan Lustig. I'm thinking that everybody knows the Silver Bullet. Lustig is one of those names, like Lane, and it's
Lustig is one of those
it's-
last names of pulling that you just
It's
know.
a tractor pulling name. It's like I always talk about. It's like the McDonald's of the food service industry. I mean, everybody knows the Lustig family, and it's cool because I met Misty, talked to her for really a good time down in Louisville, and it was really good to meet her. And she wanted to come on the show, and I asked her to come on, and I was like, just talking. I just think the whole Poland family, they're a lot of fun. They're very professional. Everything that we want for the sport of truck and tractor pulling. So I'm really excited about having her on tonight. Yeah, life's been good. You and I are coming up on Motorsports Mayhem May 13th. We're about a month out from that
away
now.
already.
And life's just crazy.
Let's hope it's like a day like yesterday.
Yes,
not today.
76,
Yes.
76 of the exit, 76 and sunny. So we want to know. What
Jordan's in the house.
Jordan's in the house.
Yeah, so
Mr. Lustig.
Yeah,
himself.
you gotta be.
We want to know what questions you have for Misty, and then of course we're gonna try to get some dirt on Jordan because that's what we do.
Yes.
It wouldn't be
I think she said she wasn't scared of telling
I
media.
I told her I wasn't scared either, so we'll figure it out. So, but if you could please share out that we're live right now on Facebook. I didn't get a chance to do my normal promoting, letting up to the show. I've taken a bunch of online webinars for testing for the mortgage business, and so
You're going back to school like Billy
I'm
Madison.
back to school. Does that camera make me look fat, Ryan, or is it me? Or
I
is it
think
the camera?
it says that they normally add 20 pounds, right?
Yes, the camera always has 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm actually 240, not 260 in reality. I want to let everybody know that. So, hey, Fred's in house. Fred's got a diesel compact tractor, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I recognize his name. And then Scott Fritz loves the Bullet. But we want to know what questions
Yes.
you have for the Bullet. What are your favorite memories of watching the Bullet? What questions you have for Misty? It's going to be a fun interview. So I want to touch on our sponsors a little bit. We have some great sponsors for Let's Grow Pulling, and what they allow us to do is to promote pulling. It gives us a little money to pay for some of our microphones and headphones and send the guys out.
We had an exciting announcement last week.
Yes,
with
Country Smokehouse.
Yes.
Yep. So excited about them. They're going to. So the Beer Money Pulling Team is the official jerky and snack sticks of the Country House Meats, and of course they have the Deer Processor Super Farm, and we're just trying to do a lot to help them out with there. So we're going to get new crew shirts made up and get our new hero cards for 2017 and everything, T-shirts and the koozies, and kind of start that whole. I don't have the butter business anymore.
Yeah.
So I got to get rid of all my. It's all about the butter.
Yeah.
It's got to be all about meat and everything.
Well,
like
you
that.
are from
So
Wisconsin, so I don't think it would definitely,
Yeah.
people would still know.
But they're not helping pay the bill
No,
anymore.
no, they're not. They're not.
But I think Joe Bush Ag Repair, one of our sponsors of the show, they do a good job. I know Ryan Rusink's going to be helping them a lot more as coming up. But we're trying to share all the posts we can. We got Hawthorne Tire,
Fair Valley Performance.
Fair Valley Performance. We talked about Country Smokehouse Meats. Yes. What I like about what Stephanie's doing, Stephanie Doss, and what she's doing for us is she's sending us like, hey, free shipping if you use the word beer money and different things like that. So they're encouraging people to use it.
Yes, I believe if you spend over $50, you get the free shipping. So
and she's doing a lot of good stuff with her Facebook page. And then our pulling associations, we're working with ITPA.
Brand new website.
Brand new website. Looks
Facebook
really good.
page. They're finally getting events up. I see now coming up. So
Clint Tucker has called me, and Gordyville's on for the year. We're going to talk about.
They already released their schedule for the.
They're pulling on Thursday.
What a schedule
there. And of course, Ellsworth, Wisconsin.
Yes. Showdown
in Kirktown. And they just updated their Facebook page. And Doug Borth, the promoter there, texted me last night. So a lot of good things going. You're going to see all those people that we talked about on our Facebook page and stuff like that. Hawthorne Tire's been around since '97. Everybody knows the Little Green Giants. Joe Bush Ag Repair. They're great engine builders. I know they take care of our good friends, the Bausmas, and different things like that. So it's just exciting. And I know ITPA it's their 50th year of Poland, so it's a big year from there. Next week we're going to have Stephanie from Country Smokehouse Meats on, as well as Rodney Crumb's getting me somebody from the ITPA next week. And then I know the following week we have Mary Womble down from Tennessee. She's got the Wampus Cat. She's helping us with the Facebook page now and different things like that. So Ryan Rusik just jumped in there. So if you're watching the show, please share it out there and share it out on your Facebook page. Let people know if there's certain groups that you belong to. Let them know we're going to be calling Misty Lustig here in a little bit. Joe Bush Ag Repair is doing great big things with Steinbauer this year. If your field equipment needs more juice, got to give him a call. So good job, Rusik.
Yeah,
he's handled his accounts well. Our account manager Ryan. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Like I said, I think we're going to have a lot of questions tonight for the Lustig family, especially Misty. And if you want to bring up the Facebook sheet a little bit, let's see what's been happening on the Facebook page, Dave, before we call Misty. Thank you again for making us the most popular social media related thing in the world and social media when it comes to pulling. We post everything that you send us. So I love that picture there on the page there. That looks like
this
Utica.
is Utica. Yep.
Yeah, I think Brandon took that picture.
Yeah, there looks like he's getting pulled out from the corn.
Yeah.
They let him go pretty far in the corn last year.
Or he wasn't able to back it up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think he probably did something to the rear end.
I'm guessing. Because it looks like a 2.5 or a stock appearing truck, and typically horsepower finds weaknesses. Don't you think? Right?
It does.
I think
it really does, especially on your stock rear ends and you're producing almost 1,000 horsepower.
Yep. You can see our page there has reached 3 million people in the last 7 days. This is the bid for the rim polishing. Kevin Moore from Illinois is donating basically an $840 rim polishing. Takes them off 10 rims, and he's donating the highest bid, donating every dollar of it to the John Stanley Roof Project. And our goal was to raise $4,500. I haven't opened today's mail yet, but Eric Harmison just texted me. The Smithback family just donated $500 to that. So we're getting closer to that $4,500 number. I know the barman stepped in and they did some stuff with for the garage as well. So we're really hoping to blow it out. And then the goal is to get it done before May 20th, before their actual benefit.
Okay.
So we're feeling good about that. So thank you for all the donations. I did the first kind of run of everybody that's donated, and I'll update Facebook again with that. So if you want to kind of keep scrolling down, let's see what there's us. We're live.
Yes.
So keep sharing that out there. There's the Ray Tellin video. Why don't you click on that? This is still the most popular video we've posted in 2000. They can hear it, right?
Yes, they can.
This is the best part.
Columbus Turbo, Spirit Valley injectors, 5x35. Are you gonna pull the fucking box off, dumbass? Sorry.
So that's still Ray's an awesome guy. If you know him and his family, and they promised they weren't. That was not all alcohol induced. That was just straight. We're having a good time. We're having a good time. So
I hope they sent that to America's Funniest Home Videos. I mean, hey, that could be like $10,000 right there.
We should get on that. We should call him. Colin's their guy. Colin Brownell always comment on their
all
posts
you
and
do is
stuff
upload
like
it to their website. I'm sure.
But I'm pretty sure that's got well over 1 million views. I'd have to ask Brandon, but it does really, really well.
I mean, we have 818 comments.
Yeah, that's usually a good sign.
And 2,600 likes. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. So if you keep scrolling down a little bit, what do we got? What are some most recent posts we have? Yeah, the proctologist one. I'm not sure who did that one, but you guys send it. We post it, so that's good. What do we got here? Wisconsin Pulling Promoters. Our buddy Matt was over in Soldiers Grove this last weekend.
Yeah, they did a road show over there. They had a ride for Preston. And
the Pulling for Preston Pull is in June or July?
The last Saturday in July.
July. So
the week after
Turner.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's the 30th.
Yep. This is next one is a video, just a guy shifting gears. It's been really popular. When a video like this has 160,000 views, that's usually pretty popular. So I like reading all the comments there. So we'll keep scrolling down. What else we got here? Now this is a picture. I'm not sure where this truck's from. Somebody sent that to us to promote a pull they were having too. That looks like a 2.6 or a 3.0 truck, right? It's got duals on the back.
I would say it's definitely...
Yeah, it's from the south.
Yeah.
Right? South or east, because I don't recognize it.
I guess if anyone knows, they can comment in the comments. That would be good.
Keep scrolling down a little bit, see what else you got there, Ryan, and then we'll call Misty here in a little bit. Yeah. I kind of show on the page. There's Hawthorne Tire, one of our sponsors there, 8-inch front Kaiser wheels, complete with hub, now available for $450 a pair, so you can check that out. I know you're looking at the comments. I'll keep scrolling down here. Got a nice picture of Barman's hooked up super farm. That looks like Mazo, doesn't it?
Yep, that's Mazo. Yep, that was last year at Mazo because you could tell it rained and they peeled the track off.
Here's a video of EM2 Pulling. It was from Indio, California.
Yeah, this was
that's
at the
same
event.
Place where Jay Leno
yes,
was,
it
right?
was. Yes, it was. Obviously not his run, but
that was a little smoother.
Yes.
So we haven't heard back yet if Jay Leno is going to come on the show yet, but I know Robert Fagundes was working on that one.
I would say.
What's everybody saying?
Once it gets closer, they like to promote their show like
so
maybe a couple weeks.
They're probably filming for this fall, don't you?
Yeah, it would be for the fall season.
Good looking John Deere. Was that a 4010? What is that, Zolik? Looks like maybe a non-turbo tractor or a turbo. Well, it's got enough smoke, but put a good load on it. So now here's Will Witt. Will Witt Productions. He has our Let's Grow Pulling live on Wednesday nights. Anybody know the name of that?
The 50/50. donated back to the
Yes,
Strandley
Matt Ingram.
family.
Okay, so Wisconsin Pulling Promoters, they raised $210. Thank you, Matt, for reminding me. Matt stopped by on his way home Saturday night. Him and Sean, the K-Man, they call him on his show. They donated $210 to the Strandley benefit as well, so for the roof project. So it was a great day over there. I know he got frustrated a little bit with the internet and stuff like that, but when you're in Soldiers Grove and you're in a shop, it's tough. It's tough to have good internet. So right now we're showing a video here of a poll coming up. Let's see, April 29th. That Will put this together. This is cool. These big trucks with the high hitches on them. See, fans love that stuff. I mean,
That's very popular
I mean?
out east. Those types of trucks. They're
great.
kind of like the old school monster trucks when they first started back in the 70s and 80s.
This is the Megatron truck, right? This is Jason Wayman's truck, I believe.
Yes. This was
Redneck Rally last fall.
Yes, it was.
In Richland Center. Can they hear the sound?
No, you got it. That normally helps. Yeah, so Jason's gonna be getting this is let's see, this is Wapan, and this is
Let's see here. Get Misty on the phone. So start typing your questions you have, everybody, for Misty Lustig. Let us know what you want us to ask her. The silver bullet, we'll get everybody on the phone there and get going. I should put the right phone number in, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, that probably normally helps.
Plug it in, dial it. So we're calling Misty Lustig right now, everybody, and let us know. Share it out there that about to go live with Misty. Talk to her. We'll talk family. We'll talk pulling. Talk business. See what's going on in their life out there in 84 PA. I think I need to sit up straighter and I'll look as fat. How about the interview?
Yeah,
Pretty
look good
girl.
for Misty.
Yeah, I gotta look good for Misty. So,
Hello.
Misty, my name is Jason Schultz. Would you like to buy some popcorn for the Boy Scouts?
I would love to buy some pop. Well, I need to ask my husband first if I can buy some.
Yeah, ask her. So how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. Yeah, welcome. We got Ryan Zolik sitting next to me. You know me. I'm Jason. We got the beautiful silver bullet picture here behind us that you sent us. Let's Grow Pulling. Thank you very much for that. So, thanks for wanting to be on the show. I really appreciate that. Not everybody wants to talk to us on the show. I don't know what they're scared of, Misty, but I don't think we never really hurt people that bad, do we?
No, I'm thrilled. I love the show. We watch pretty religiously, and I think there's things that I find out about people or certain polls or promoters, and I don't know. I find it interesting to know what other wives are up to, so maybe somebody else would find this interesting, and maybe not.
Well, no, you're starting it out because we're going to have Mary Womble on in 2 weeks, and she's the Wampus Cat Diesel Superstock. She's the pretty half of that as well. So we got a lot of good things going on. So you're going to be our guinea pig for Puller Wives. So I appreciate you doing this. So.
Oh, great. Well, Miles, I was his guinea pig for Women on Wednesday.
Nice.
And I learned a lot from that. So I'm really excited to do this.
Good deal.
I'm super excited.
Well, the one question that Ryan and I, we write down some questions. Can you tell us about your family a little bit, your kids, and just tell us a little bit of who you are?
Okay. Well, my family in this house, Jordan and I have 2 children. We have Lauren, who's 5, and Jackson, who is 3. And, of course, we're a family business, self-employed. So, it's funny. They're involved in everything. We don't have a lot of family here. My parents are out of state, different things. So it's like when it's harvest or planting or pulling season, everybody's involved, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's how it is. So that's a little bit about us.
Don't you have a dog too? I think I met your dog at
Murphy.
Murphy, yes.
Murphy has been going tractor pulling since 2004.
Okay.
we've had him since the beginning. He's a senior citizen now. And he's been to, we added it up one time, but he's been to like 32 states, and most of those are from tractor pulling.
That's pretty good. So,
Yeah.
Misty, you have a stalker so far. This Gary Danley guy, can you tell? He seems to be your neighbor, and he wants to shout.
Gary!
Yeah,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you mentioned Gary. He's our neighbor. I love him. And like I said, he's a diehard Red fan. Diehard.
Okay.
I don't even know why he associates with us. That's how diehard he is. And anyway, but he's an excellent neighbor. Jordan and I live on a farm here. We just live maybe a quarter mile south of I-70. We're about 25 miles into Pennsylvania here in the booming metropolis of 84.
Is 84 a big town? I have no idea.
No, 84 is really small.
Is there only 84 people?
Yeah, is it 84 people? That's what I'm
approximately 84 people. And of course, 84 lumber is our claim to fame here. I don't know. I'm thinking it might not get up as far as you guys are, but definitely out into the Midwest. They're a big company. I used to work for them before we had kids and before I came to work for the family business. But but anyway, yeah. So Gary Danley is the mayor of Dunningsville, which is the name of the exit that we live off of.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us, we got Misty Lustig, the wife of Jordan Lustig, driver and owner of the Silver Bullet Alky Superstock, unlimited alcohol Superstock, and we're just talking with her tonight, having a good time. And if you have a question for Misty or you want to juice on Jordan or different things like that, so I got to be a little bit funny. So like, were you like a Jordan Lustig groupie, or how did you guys get together? So.
No, not really. Now, I had heard, I knew about the Silver Bullet. I was a pulling fan before I met Jordan.
Pulling fan.
Yeah, we were wondering.
Yes.
Yeah, we were wondering about
I
that.
was.
So we were going to segue into that. So.
Yeah, let me tell you about that.
Yes,
so
please.
My dad, his name is Brad Board. My maiden name was Board. I grew up in Mineral Wells, West Virginia, and so that's about, say, 20 miles, give or take, from Dave Archer, and back when the Pioneer was the Pioneer before it was the Black Widow. But anyway, so he would be like our closest, Grand National puller. Well, my dad pulled a four-wheel drive truck. He started out pulling four-wheelers. Then we went up to four-wheel drive trucks. And we're talking, basically brush pulls, like 410 cubic inch motors, and we ran southeastern Ohio and some local pulls and things. And I have to talk about the red school bus. We had my dad had a truck and a gooseneck, and then we upgraded to a red international school bus. It was a gasser. We lived in the country, but still in a neighborhood. And so we would come in late at night. We never stayed over, tractor pulling. Staying in the pits, that was unheard of. So we would come in late at night, and we lived on a steep hill, and you could just hear this. The school bus would climb the hill like this. Just barely, And we would pull in, and you could get your purse and walk towards the house, and you could maybe make it to the front door before that thing would load up with fuel, and it would backfire. I could hear it to this day. And so when I met Jordan, I was like, "You've never went tractor pulling in a school bus?" He's like, "No." I said, "Then you have never lived."
Yes.
Those were the days.
I expect to see you guys in school bus at Toma this year. So just throw that out there right now.
I had the greatest time. I always tell, my dad would pick me up from school in that thing. It still had this school bus, swing arm door. And I thought I was, walking onto John Force Racing, and all the kids were so jealous of me. Meanwhile, they were probably maybe laughing, but I didn't know it. So, anyway, back to that. So my dad had a four-wheel drive truck, and we would go to Canfield. That was our bowling green, the Canfield Fair.
Okay.
And
now, was that a
a
big sanctioned event, Misty, or what kind of?
That's the big one that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, normally
Okay.
that's where Unlimiteds finish their point series.
Got it.
The Unlimited class, and so they'll have some local classes, and then they'll have some Grand National classes. And I had seen the bullets there before. So how this actually happened was in '04, we went to a tractor pull in Mercer, Pennsylvania, and Jordan had come overnight from a pull in, I believe, Indiana, and he was just on display there. And I knew the promoter. I had grown up, knowing the promoter. His name was Jim Miller. He owned a sled from here in Pennsylvania, and just chatting with him, and he says, I'll never forget, he said, "Oh, I bet you're just, got all kinds of boys down in West Virginia." I said, "Nah, not really." And he's like, "Did you ever meet Jordan Lustig?" And I said, "No." He's like, "Hang on, I'm going to introduce you to him. You guys would hit it off so good." And with that, there we headed over, to meet him. And he's like, "Jordan, this is Misty. Misty, this is Jordan." And as you can tell, I don't have any trouble talking.
No, you're fun to talk to.
So, as the evening went on, he took my number. And our very first date, me being from West Virginia, him being from here in Pennsylvania, our first date was at an NHRA drag race at the trails, at the National Trails dragway there in Ohio. It's since they've moved that event to Norwalk. But so that was our first date, and that was it. I mean, we just hit it off.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not do that? Well, it's cool. I mean, you came from pulling, because that's what Ryan and I were wondering about, was like, were you something that, just friends, and you got drug into this pulling thing? Because I took my wife to her first tractor pull when we first started dating, and I said, "You don't ever have to like this, but I'm going to do this forever." So she's like, "Good, I don't like it, and you just have fun." So I was like, "All right, cool." So.
No, my sister, I have a younger sister, just a sister. My dad didn't have any boys. It never slowed him down, though. My sister was the athlete. I was not good with any type of sport. I'm 35. I've yet to find a sport that I'm good at.
Have you tried golf?
No.
You should try golf.
Cornhole. I can play cornhole or bago, whatever you guys call it.
That's a good tractor pulling game. We have boards.
I know.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't good at sports, but my dad was a gearhead. And I just spent lots of time with him and, grew up. We had a dirt track, racetrack close by. I spent a lot of time, there, and just anything with a motor. I like it.
No, that's awesome. That's what we like to hear. So, when you guys have so what's it like though? I mean, being around, because I'm not trying to be all, crazy, but you guys are like one of the biggest names in the sport of pulling. I know Rich is humble, and I know you're humble, and I know Jordan's humble, but you guys, I mean, I told Jordan last summer when I talked to him, I remember when he was 16, they came there with the silver bullet, and when he could first start driving, he just dominated, you know what I mean? And,
yeah.
But pulling isn't like, I don't think you turn into a John Force or anything like that, because you don't get rich doing this. You know what I mean? We all need to go home, and the reason your dad came home every night because he had to work the next day. Do you know what I mean?
He did. Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. But what's it like being part of the Lustig family? I mean, you guys, you basically went from, like you said, being a brush puller to marrying one of the most well-known pulling families in the sport today.
Yeah, it at first was very. I loved it. I've loved it. I think the hardest thing for me was, you have to remember, I did not grow up on a farm. My dad was a shift worker, and farming is just a totally different beast. And didn't have a self-employed family, not a small business. So in order for us to play hard all summer, we have to work hard the rest of the year. And, that's been the biggest adjustment. But it's a huge blessing. It really is, because all of us, Rich, I spend lots and lots of time with Rich. We love this. When we're not at a silver bullet tractor pull, we're watching brush pulling. We're, talking about pulling. We're talking about pulling on Christmas Day. And it's funny, because when you mentioned that about your wife, you don't ever have to like this. Or the comment that I always get from pullers or from their wives is, well, she just can't justify the money. Let me tell you something. We would be better off if I was that way. But the trouble is, we both we both want to win. So it's like, new tires. Let's figure out how to buy those, or you know. And it's a little different ball game because on the NCPA circuit, we're the only mom and pop team. Do you know what I mean? Like we're running against teams that have owners and hired drivers, and we don't have that. So it's it's very different, like you said. But those brush pulls and those times, I loved that time. I look back and laugh and think, man, if it hadn't been for those times, I'd never be here today. And I love brush pulling just as much as the average. I mean, we basically have 2 of them every year right here in our hometown at Motorsports Mayhem coming up in a month, and our Redneck Rally in the fall. And honestly, we have more. I would say the fans almost enjoy that as much or more because we'll have like a stock diesel truck class, or we'll have a run what you brung, different things like that, because that seems to correlate a little bit more to what to what they want. You know what I mean? And and that's what they can relate to it.
I don't know if people realize. I mean, there is this highest level pulling. Like the class that you guys run in is the equivalent to Top Fuel Dragster in the NHRA world or the NASCAR world, and different things like that. So that's kind of what we do. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So
it is.
But again, if you're just joining Let's Grow Pulling, it's Monday night. My name is Jason Schultz. I got Ryan Zoig sitting next to me here. We got the beautiful Misty Lustig with us on the phone right now. She's the wife of Jordan Lustig, and she's a pulling fan, and she loves the sport. And let us know what you're kind of thinking out there. And I know Gary Danley says he's famous now that you mentioned his name on the show, so he's feeling really good about that. So good stuff there. Hey, can you tell us a little bit more about the business a little bit? Because Ryan, because we think you farm a little bit and you're working on pulling tractors. Can you tell us about the family dynamic business there?
Sure. Well, the truth of the matter is we'll do whatever we can do to make some money.
Perfect.
How about that?
That's the American way.
We do farm. We primarily farm corn, beans, and some wheat. So we put in just shy of 2,000 acres, which when you start talking Indiana, Illinois, even Wisconsin, that's not really very big numbers, but we're doing it like 50 acres at a time. We spend way more time on the pavement than we do in the dirt. So and like I said, we run a small, skeleton crew by design. So it's just sort of all hands on deck. We do some shop work. We do a lot more like hot farm stuff and some super farm, some limited pro. We have a guy that works for us. His name's Brandon Bell. They own the Firefox tractor.
Okay.
And we spend a lot of time. Jordan spends a lot of time with him. Just kind of honing in on that, and we do some dirt work during the summer. Like I said, just sort of whatever comes along. Jordan will try his hand at it, and Rich still does a lot. He's here most every day. He has a house in Florida, so he spends a good bit of time down there with his daughter. So it's, Jordan and I, and we do have that relationship where he comes and he says, well, we need to spend some money on, like this tractor build, okay, for example. We did that on $3.50 corn.
Yeah,
right?
Way to go.
So I'm like, okay, let me see where we can come up with that, But it's good because it's teamwork and it's, it takes everybody.
Yep,
it really
absolutely,
does. Absolutely.
So what kind of equipment do you farm with on the farm? What brands?
Primarily John Deere.
Okay.
We've used quad tracks in the past, some MyH quad tracks. We just traded combines for a case combine, so this will be the first red combine we've ever had. But we're that kind of farm where it depends. Whatever the best deal is, whatever the best piece of equipment is for that situation, where we live, it's really hard to farm here. I mean, like I said,
No, it
We're on
sounds
the
like
side of
farming.
the mountain.
It sounds like farming in Richland County where we live.
Yeah, I don't think we're in the driftless area.
Yeah,
So
we have a lot of hills.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about the tractor's new design. You unveiled it at Louisville this year. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's jaw-dropping. I don't know how many people took pictures of that thing, but it had to be one of the more photographed tractors at the National Farm Machinery
I think
Show.
that's what's made the Silver Bullet so unique throughout the years. Is the
It's always been sharp.
yes.
And it's been unique. The V8, the sheet metal, it's always been top-notch, high quality. Can you tell us about the new design a little bit? We have some pictures of it, right? Can you put it up, Ryan, while Misty's talking?
Yeah, I can. So I can tell you that when we the main reason that this rebuild was necessary was because we just needed to build it, like they say, lighter and tighter. The chassis had, like I like to say, a lot of miles on it. It was built at a time where, we were making a lot less horsepower, so we didn't need as much front end weight and things like that. So we decided, we needed to just tear it apart and start fresh to be able to move more front end weight. And the thing with our class, it's funny. I'll touch on this. Those Wisconsinites up there, they're tough. Those men and threes are tough.
Yes, they are.
But I'll tell you this: they're not unbeatable. If you could, John Strickland
Prove that.
proved it, and he made excellent passes. He was consistent. If it's a tug pull, it's really tough to beat them. But you can get around them, and we knew that with the design that we had, we could no longer do that consistently. So we needed to be able to, make more boost. Jordan even, this is funny, Jordan went on this very strict diet. I kept saying to him, you know what, this is the time to do it because you're working on the tractor all this time. I'll do it with you. And it is so funny. He would come home every night without fail, walk through the door. What's for supper? Pizza? And I'm like, no, you get about a half a chicken breast. And so he was dedicated to this rebuild. He even lost about 40 pounds himself. And just like I said, that's the main focus was, obviously we wanted it to be pretty, which I feel like, some things it takes a while to get used to. And for me, the minute that tractor was finished, I was like, this is it. I love it. I didn't have any regret about the old paint and the old sheet metal and all that. But
and let's be honest, Misty, you guys were dominant for years. I mean, nobody even came within sniffing distance of you guys. You know what I mean? Of that tractor, I would say the mid 2000s till the early. I mean, when did Blackburns come on strong with the heavies? And then Strickland this year, obviously. But I mean, there was years.
Yeah.
You guys were Jordan. And again, I'm not being cocky. I'm just pointing the facts out. You were tough to beat. I mean, it was tough to beat the Bullet.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, everybody expected to win every time out. I remember those days in Toma. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I get frustrated. Jordan doesn't. He lets stuff roll off his back, but women don't do that.
No.
I get frustrated, and I'm like, I'll read the message boards, and they say, oh, the class is done, the class is done. And I feel like the Bullet has been a force to be reckoned with for 25 years.
Yeah.
Now, there have been years where, we battled with Larry Roberts and the Big Toy team. They were tough. They were the biggest and the baddest at one time. But they're gone now, and I'm not saying that about Blackburns because Terry Blackburn is a legend.
Yes, he is.
But I just, you asked about the rebuild, and that was the focus behind it.
No, and that's great. That's great. That's what it's all about, and that's what. So I mean, I don't like that either. I mean, so it's easy to go on pulloff.com or Fonda's board or whatever and just type some random rumor because anybody can do it. You don't have to register.
Yeah.
But there needs to be the highest level of pulling. There needs to be a pro stock class. There needs to be the unlimited supers. There needs to be diesel supers, okay? But there's not going to be 30 of them in a class like you have in the super farm class. This is the highest level of pulling. This is for the puller, the engineer that says, I want to take it to the next level. I don't want any rules. You know what I mean? I want to compete at the highest level. You know what? I would rather see 6 to 10 of the best in the world pull than I would see 30 super farms. I'm not ripping on the super farm class. I'm not ripping on the hot farm class, because at the end of the day, the track changes. It turns over. Nobody can build a track that can be consistent for 30 vehicles in a row. That's just how it goes. So, yes, do I want to see more diesel super stocks? Yeah, I do. You know, but I understand why a puller doesn't want to build tear his motor down every 5 passes on a pro stock tractor. Do you know what I mean? I get all that. So the class isn't going to die. The class isn't going to die, but it's a level of commitment to pull at that level. There's a reason that I don't have a pro stock tractor. I don't even work on my tractor. My friends do. Brent Gaffney's my right hand man with the. Misty. I don't even know if I could change the oil in the Remedy. I mean, Brent won't even let me, and I pay for everything. I own that tractor, but I know what I'm good at, and Brent, my friend Brent, takes care of it, and my buddy Ryan and Tyler and those guys are always working on it in the shop. And without them, and we just have a 4.1, making over 2,000 horsepower. I can't imagine having a tractor making 4,000 to 5,000 horsepower, like your guys' class does. And then you live in Pennsylvania, and then you run the Grand National. And that's what people don't realize, the time commitment that you guys do to go out to win $800 or $1,000 if you win a class. I don't even know. But you know what I'm trying to say. It's still a hobby, even at your level. Right. So.
No, you're 100% right. And it's a huge commitment. And like you said, Jordan does the majority of 90% of everything. I mean, he's the one that does all the wrenching on the tractor, and if we go to a pull and something happens, and he's the guy that's up half the night. I have to go to bed. I got the kids, and all that stuff. But he, I don't know how he's done this for 25 years. And plus, before that time, Rich had the diesel super.
Yes, the Super Steeler, right?
Super Steeler.
Now where's that at now, Misty? That's out east still, right?
It's in New York. Is
that Hank Tomilowitz?
Super Alice.
Yeah, Hank Tomilowitz owns it now, right?
Yes,
I think so.
I think so.
I think it's Hank Tomilowitz. Somebody will let us know in a little bit. So that's great. But that's what what's part of this show is, our Facebook pages, we want to post as many pictures and videos as we can to get people to the pulling track. With the shows, we want to put the human side. We want to put the human side of the pulling, because nobody's making any money doing this. It's a hobby for somebody, you know what I mean, or something like that. And it's crazy the amount of time and effort. And kudos to you guys, because like I said, you've been and Jordan and his dad have been pulling at that highest level for so long.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody commented on here, I forget the name, it was a Blair. His last name was Blair, but he says, this is the only tractor from the United States that's pulled in Europe 3 times. Twice as Silver Bullet, once as Bad Medicine. Have you gone any on the European runs at all, or how's that worked out? Were you around then?
No, the tractor went over in 96.
Okay.
And then again in March of 05, which is the year that we got married. But I was working at the time, and I was trying to save vacation for honeymoon and all that stuff. And so if I had it to do over again, I would go to Ahoy and not to Honolulu, but when you're young and dumb. So I have never gone. But that is an interesting fact. And it's touching on Bad Medicine, that's like the greatest tractor name of all time.
It is, isn't it? Absolutely. So when did Rich buy that Bad Medicine from the Conner brothers? Do you remember what year that? Do you know?
I believe that was the fall of 94.
94. Okay. So I graduated from high school that year. So I'm 41 now. That would make sense, because you were 3 years old. Yeah, I got a young kid here. That's how he knows how to turn on my computer for me. So that's good. So hey, Misty, you're getting a lot of comments on Facebook how beautiful the tractor looks. And,
good.
And your neighbor guy, he thinks he's famous now. I lost his name already, but he's feeling
Jerry.
Jerry.
He's a dandy.
Yes, Super Alice is out of New York now. Yes, Raymond Rice confirmed that. So. Very good.
Okay.
Ryan, do you got something to say to Misty? You have the microphone up like you want to talk.
Well, I was going to ask her, with all the travels you guys get to do and see all the different pulls on the Grand National Circuit, what are you guys looking for? Because you now have the kids that you're taking along for like a family. What pull kind of do you like about like a family-friendly event, or what do you like to see with when you're taking the kids along?
Well, okay, let me just tell a quick story.
Yes, please. That's what this is all about.
This has happened at Bowling Green this past year. So at Toma and Bowling Green, you know, we go all out. We put the awning up. It's hospitality. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
And so that awning used to be the place to be. Come dark, and after the pool was over or whatever, that was it. Well, a good friend of ours...
Party at Lustig's.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. So a good friend of ours, Harley Giroux, her dad, Scott Giroux, pulls the alcohol tractor, Ride the Lightning, from out in Ohio that Eileen Kale owns and drives. Anyway, so she's a good bit younger than Jordan and I. And when a lot of these parties were happening, she was a teenager with her, you know, her dad had a close eye on her. So anyway, last year she comes over and, you know, she's got a beer in hand and all this stuff. And she's like, you know, I just need to tell you something. She says, for years, I could not wait to get old enough to come over here and have fun with you guys. She's like, now you have little kids and you're playing Barrel of Monkeys. Like, what happened? I don't know what happened to you guys. And I'm like, I know. It happened. But you know what? To answer your question, my favorite pull for the kids is Toma, because I feel like you still get the Bowling Green, but you cut out a lot of the, you know, the sites that I'm not quite sure I want them to see.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, I feel like this. People are respectful. I've never yet had anything happen, you know, in front of the kids that I don't let them sit on the north side, obviously, you know, but I've never had anything it's just pulling fans and pullers, I feel like are very respectful people. They like to have fun, they do get loud, but I've just really never had any negative experience, especially not with my kids, you know. But we bought a motorhome last year to take tractor pulling, just because, you know, we have the Peterbilt, but we don't have a toter home, so it just made it hard with the kids, you know, being young like that and everything. And so this touches on how my marriage with Jordan goes. So we were headed to Toma last year, and I said, okay, if we buy this motorhome, I'm going to learn to drive this thing. So we set out, well, that's 800 miles for us. And we go through toll booths, which I feel like, you know, I'm crashing on either side, rubbing the toll booths, you know. And I always want to go clear to the right-hand side because that toll lane is always wider. No, he's not going to. So we go through Chicago last year at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Ugh. Right down the middle lane. We can't be clear to the right, you know, the slow lane. The bullet truck is trucking it right down the middle of downtown Chicago, and I'm basically back there sink or swim. We made it, but he constantly, that is one thing about Jordan. He puts me in situations that he has more faith in me than he probably should have.
Well, you haven't crashed it yet, have you?
Not yet.
Okay,
no.
Good. So he trusts you.
And I figure he thinks, well, he's going to have to pay for it if I do. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So what are some of your best, like, memories, I guess, just of the actual pull itself? Like, so you've been around Jordan for a while now. So, like, tell me what it's like to be the wife when he gets up to the line and, you know, pulls. And I mean, tell us about that whole experience. What's going on in your stomach? What's going on in your brain? What are you thinking?
Well, Jordan he's super calm. You know, I've only seen him get nervous and worked up maybe 2 or 3 times in 15 years, and they weren't tractor pulling related, you know. But I get a little bit nervous, but I don't get too out of hand. I mean, I get more nervous when Reloaded is hooked to the sled, because you never know. It's a wild card. You never know what's going to happen. But I never would count the bullet out. You know, I always feel like, okay, we got a shot at this, you know, and I really love it. I mean, like, there's nothing better than Bowling Green Saturday night in a pull-off with Terry Blackburn. Let's do this, you know?
Yeah, and as a fan, you're right.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's all hanging out, you know? Nobody's worrying about, you know, anything. I mean, if it's Saturday night and we've made it through the weekend and here we are, we want to win, you know, and that's how we do things. That's how this family operates. We didn't come here to get second place, and that's everything. I mean, my goodness, we went to he's so funny. We went to Valentine's dinner at our church, and they had a couples game, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to win this, because he's going to want to win. Like, he didn't come here to get beat by these other couples, you know. It filters into every part of our life, you know. It's just, I don't know, trying to do your best, and you don't always win, and that's fine. But you should always try.
No,
I
agree. So Harley Giroux agrees with you. There's nothing beats spending time with the Lustig family at Bowling Green. So she seconds that for you. So.
Oh, good.
We had a
good.
story pop up that you were doing burnouts in a Suburban.
In front of Danley's house. Is this true? It's true. It's true. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, what's the truth? It's out there now. Misty, only 35,000 people have joined the show so far tonight. So we've reached 35,610 timelines. So tell a couple people about your burnouts in front of Danley's house. I'm sure there's no state troopers listening.
Okay, this is a great story. It was not in the Suburban. I'm pretty sure the Suburban would not do burnouts. That's the lunch wagon. That's where I haul food and drinks and everything to the field to the guys. But anyway, no, this was in Jordan's pickup. He has a Ford F-250 Power Stroke. And a few weeks back, I stopped by the shop, and he says, I think I need to delete the DEF on this truck. And I said, oh, okay. And so that went from delete the DEF to I need this tuner that you can shift on the fly, and it lopes like a Pro Stock. And I'm like, no, you can't. And I teased Brandon that works for us, because I think Brandon's 23, you know, and he's a good kid. He spends his money on his truck and on his girlfriend and stuff, but it's like, I'm like, Jordan, you're not Brandon. We have bills to pay. You know, you don't need to look like a Pro Stock. He's like, but I do.
I love it. So we got a question. Can you talk about the second tractor? Is that coming back out, or what are the plans there with the reloaded tractor? That's one of the fans wants to know.
Yeah. Well, we still have reloaded. And what happened with it's strong. It has a Deutz motor in it, and it's strong. We call it a one-pass wonder. The guys have spent countless hours. You know, that Deutz has been around. A lot of people have owned it, and it definitely has potential. Now, what happened was, when we bought it and really started going after it really hard, you know, crop prices were significantly different than they are now.
Yeah. And
we just had to pull the plug on it and say, this is, you know, we can't do this right now. So then last year, Jordan went through the whole motor, and it redid the oiling system and all this stuff, and we were thrilled to take it back. It was important to us to take it to Bowling Green's 50th, you know, just to be there. That was really an exciting time. So we borrowed tires to put on it. We didn't have a set of tires. We borrowed tires off of a guy that owns now the High Tech Redneck that Mike Beck used to have. Borrowed them off of him. My dad came. It was anybody that could lend a hand was thrashing trying to get this tractor back together. And you know, as it went, it now has a big hole in the side of the block and is sitting down at the shop. I think they've decided that, you know, it needs a different type of a crank and all this stuff. And we will not give up on that thing. I have, I know that for a fact. We'd like to have a second tractor. That's a huge advantage. Most of the teams that we compete against, even on the PPL side, a lot of them have 2 tractors, and that's huge. I mean, so we'd like to have, something else to fight with them against, or to fight against them with, but it probably won't be for 2017. It would be nice to bring it back out.
But kudos to you, and we got a quick question from you. Miles Krieger just texted. He's got a question for you. But kudos to you for saying, you know what, it's just not in the cards right now. And you know how many pullers are out there like that right now. And there's been times where I haven't bought stuff because I'm not gonna. I love pulling Misty. I would do anything to do it, but if I don't have the money, I just don't do it. So I guarantee. I mean, you're awesome. You're beautiful. I mean, you're fun. But that has been the best thing I guarantee you've said all night on the show. When people come up to you this summer, they're going to be like, you know what? I just thank you. Thank you for being humble. Thank you for being a real person. Because that's what people don't realize. They see the big silver bullet rolling up, interstate. They're like, look at those. Those guys are rich. Look at that.
No.
I mean, they're busting your ass to have what you have.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not true.
That's what's good to get that out there. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's 100% the truth. We are not rich. If we, eased up for a couple months, we'd be in trouble. That's the thing about a family business, is just that and like I said, I mean, crop prices being what they are, and a couple years ago, we sat out, I think the bullet ran 19, I might have that number wrong, but 19 seasons pre-committed in a row, 19 in a row. That's crazy. Yeah, and we said, you know what, we got to park it. It's, prices were worse than they are now, and everybody was scared, and what are we going to do? And so we just decided, no, we'll hit Toma, we'll hit Bowling Green. One thing I have to talk about is Simpico oil.
Yes.
I don't have to, my goodness, they'd never say a word if I didn't, but those folks are like family to us. And so, those years that we sat out, we knew, we've got to make it to some of those big pulls for them, and where they do hospitality with their customers and things like that. We'd be lost without them. They're not really even in a financial sense, but in a family sense. They've stuck with the bullet, good, bad, and ugly, since 1996, and there are not very many pulling vehicles that have had the same sponsor, on the front weight box that long.
Nope, you're absolutely correct, 100%. No, they're great people. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because Ryan and I have that wrote down. We were going to talk to you about that as well, anyway. So,
good.
What was Miles' question?
Yeah, so our good buddy Miles, he wants to know when you're gonna sit in the seat
and bend the throttle up and slip that clutch and get that front wheel in the air about 2 or 3 feet off the ground and ride it out the end.
I have.
You can drive if you can drive the motor home to Chicago, Misty. You can drive the bullet. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some burnouts in the Suburban. I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, you've been practicing. And then Tiffany Board said you got caught drag racing in high school. I mean, we're bringing out all the demons.
Oh my God. I did, and this story it'll live in infamy. I did get caught drag racing. The police officer was not at all easy on me because I was, 18 years old, and I went home and the next morning, my dad worked midnights. That was the worst. Anytime anything ever happened, he had worked midnights the night before,
Of course.
And
he's tired and grumpy.
He's tired and grumpy, and I said, sitting at the dining room table, I said, Dad, I got to tell you a story. You're going to be mad. And I said, I got caught for drag racing last night. I'll never forget. He looked across the table. He said, "How stupid could you be?" I drove a Cavalier. It was a little V24. I said, Dad, Amy, I knew this girl. I said, she was driving a Firebird. I wasn't racing her. Are you kidding me? Why would I? So there is that story, and I have pulled several different things over the years. I started out pulling my dad's truck, and did well, did okay with that, and then he bumped up and went on and pulled four-wheel drive, pulled some ATPA, PPL pulls, and then he brought his truck several times to Tacoma and Bowling Green, and I drove it at Bowling Green, and
Darlene Board just said that. Is that your mom, Darlene?
Darlene's my mom.
Okay,
yeah.
yep. So.
Wouldn't you know, at I'm going to say about 270 feet, the truck shot off to the right, and I went out of bounds. And Jordan's famous line is always this: "How can you drive out of bounds in a four-wheel drive truck?" I don't understand.
You got a steering wheel.
And so then I was devastated. I was so embarrassed. I was on a good run. The truck had hooked up, and then I said to him, I was like, it just took off. I don't know what happened. So that leads me to one of my favorite stories of Jordan.
Perfect, because that was our last question. We want some Jordan juice that we can embarrass him a little bit. So keep it up. You're doing well.
Jordan juice. He's hard on me, but in a very good way. He pushes me. I push him. He's he would work 24 hours a day if somebody wasn't there to say. But the benefit of how he is it does push me. And so this story, so I go out of bounds at Bowling Green, and I go back to the trailer, our trailer, and instead of oh man, that really stinks, I hate that happened, he was like, he didn't want to talk to me. He was like half embarrassed that I did this. So he's okay. We're going to go down to the North Carolina State Fair in the fall, and I'll redeem myself. He's like, you know what? Just you'll get them next time. That was kind of how it was. So we went down there, and my dad was down there. We took the bullet down, and at the North Carolina State Fair, they have it. It's all fenced, and all fenced-in area. You have to pay separate, to watch the pull. And how they do it is they line up, like their staging area it's different. It's down, or it used to be. I don't think it is anymore. But they would line the trucks and tractors up basically right on the side, the chalk lines of the track. And so I was the test hook and get down there. I had a hard time getting backed up to the sled. The way the track was, the front end wanted to, or the rear end wanted to skate real bad. So I'm flustered about that. Get backed up, hook up. The truck hooked up beautifully, and at 260 feet, boom, out of bounds on the right-hand side. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? What kind of an idiot? So Victor Stiles, you guys probably don't know him, but some of you that are listening might. I just love that man. He's he's an NTPA flagman. He comes up to the window, and you know how those guys down there talk, and he's like, "Mrs. Lustig, what do you want to do?" I said, "I'm not doing this again, I can tell you." And he said, "Okay, so you want to drop?" I said, "No, I want to scratch." Okay. So they unhook me, and he comes back up to the window, and he says, "Mrs. Lustig," he says, "your husband says you're going to drop to last." And I said, "Oh, no, I've had my fill of this." So sure enough, I dropped to last after a lot of tears and begging him, and he said, "Misty, you are Lustig, and we do not quit. You're not quitting." And wouldn't you know, I dropped to last. I start out again. I'm at like maybe 240 feet at this point, and I drove that sucker out of bounds on the left-hand side of the track. I was devastated. I mean, just pack me up and send me home. And then the next summer, my dad had trouble and went out of bounds in the same truck at Bowling Green. And at that point, he thought then maybe he might want to go through the steering and see if maybe something was wrong. And I can't remember the details. I just know that it was like going over release, and once it did that, it would just take off in that direction. Then I have one other pulling story that's entertaining, I think. we had a 60/30 that we pulled hot farm around here, and we had the greatest time with that tractor. Just, we'd haul it behind the dump truck and, go places on a Wednesday night or whatever, pulled a lot of fairs and so forth. And I had a lot of experience driving a truck, but I didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't, have a lot of experience with a tractor. So, steering with the brakes, that's tricky. So anyway, we practiced and we go to this pull, and I was going to pull it in maybe like the 12,000 pound class and the 14,000 pound class and sign up. There were maybe 6 entries in that class that night, and I go, they're calling for the 12,000 pound or the 14,000 pound, and I go to stage, and the guy comes up and he says, "Well, looks like you're it." I said, "I'm not it." I said, I know there were at least 5 or 6 names on this list. He's like, "Yeah, nobody wants to pull against this tractor." But the funny part of it was, Jason, Jordan stood at the 75-foot mark, and he nodded when I was done bringing the throttle up and I should start slipping the clutch. That's how strong a competition those guys had.
I love
but
it.
I won.
I love it.
So I would, to answer Miles's question, it is a dream of mine to get behind the wheel. I would love to have reloaded. The Bullet is Jordan's baby, and he's obviously our first string. So I feel like the Bullet would be our first string tractor. So I would never want to, that's not my place. But if we could bring Reloaded out and I could run it, I'd love to. And the day that I met Jordan, I said, "Would you let me drive your tractor sometime?" And he said yes. And that was in 2004. And he has said to me, "Well, I have let you drive my tractor. You never said which tractor."
That a boy. I love it. So before we wrap up the show here tonight, if you're just joining us, we've had a lot of people coming on, and you guys are well thought of. There's a ton of comments, and Jordan's been doing a good job of, thanking people for saying good things about you guys. You've been a great guest, but we got Misty Lustig on the phone right now, just talking pulling. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this, Misty. When are we going to see the Bullet first out in 2017? Are you going to run the Grand National circuit again this year? Kind of walk us through your 2017 scheme as you sit here right now.
Yeah. So for 2017, we have pre-committed the Bullet to run the NTPA Grand National Circuit again, and we'll start out in Benson, North Carolina. That'll be our first points pull down there. And if you've not been down there, that's a fantastic place.
Is that the new Galat Motorsports? Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Mr. Wells and his team have really, it is a phenomenal facility. It was a tricky track. It's like that clay that we used to get on down in like Saluda, where it's clay, and it's really different than anywhere else in the country down in that region. But it's a good track. So we'll start out down there and then go on to Toma. And it's funny, we don't have one points pull during the month of July. That is unheard of.
That is.
So we'll take some time off during July, and it's hard too because where we're at farming wise, we're always later than everybody else. We're still worrying about a frost when guys out in Illinois are planted and the tractors are put away. So it's nice because our first points pull is not till I think June 2nd. Whereas before it was always in May, and that was tough because it was like we got to get planted before we can go play around, And then side dressing is always tough because it's Toma time and all that. But it'll be nice to have the month of July, off to do family things, and we'll take a little family vacation and stuff. But I think our plan is to also hit some PPL hooks this year. We haven't spent much time with those guys just because of scheduling conflicts.
Right.
But say, for example, we'd like to go to Goshen. Goshen and Evansville are great PPL events that we've not been able to go to for several years because of Fort Recovery. And we pulled some PPL last year just here at our hometown, and it was nice to get back with those guys and just have, some different competition, just
Absolutely.
different tractors,
Will
different
Hillsborough
looking
be a
tractors.
conflict?
Hillsborough, is that
Yeah.
a conflict? I'm trying to remember. That's
It's
the
the
second
second
weekend in
in
August. 9th and 10th, is it this
Kind of a
year?
long drive, but
Yeah,
I know
it's
it's
been
been
up
a while
here by
since they've been
Toma.
here.
Because they were here, they come up for Toma in June.
Yeah,
So
but
June
the
was-
last time they were in Hillsborough, though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Probably
So
10 years or so.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
because we're going to run Silver Series this year, so I think we're going to run into you maybe at Evansville.
Yeah.
I got to look over the
Oh,
schedule again.
good.
So that'll be a lot of fun to do that. So
good.
a lot
It's
of fun.
different. It's fun from a puller's perspective how different the two organizations are, and both have strong points, NTPA and PPL, and that they're different from each other, but they're fun in their own ways. I feel like.
Well, and anywhere the Silver Bullet pulling team goes, it's a blessing to that event to have you guys there. Because and I know you're humble and I know you're laughing, but it is. I mean, to see your guys' trailer and the tractor and your father-in-law and Jordan, it means a lot to the pulling world because they've been around for so long and they've supported it. And that's what the memories, Misty, that your dad your father-in-law, and your dad have provided for fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Hey, before I let you go, what's the name of your dad's pulling truck so I can?
Well, he started out with a Dodge truck called the Hillbilly Express, and that was in our brush pulling days. It was a red Dodge, I believe it was a '78 Dodge, and then he went on to a truck called the American Dream, and a guy. I want to say that truck is in Illinois now, and I can't think of the guy's name. It's changed hands a couple times, but it's still around. It looks exactly the same.
Good.
So, but one last thing I want to say was as far as the bullet meaning a lot to organizations and fans. You're right. We've had parents come and say, I buried my son with a picture card. He loved the bullet, or a picture of a headstone with the bullet engraved on it. That happened one time. Tattoos. Wow. But for us, the people that you see every year at different polls, we've got great friends from the Goshen area that we see them in July, and it's, and just the opportunities that polling has afforded our family, to know different people and different, it's such a blessing. I mean, that tractor has connected us with so many different people and walks of life and lifelong friends, that I feel like whether the bullet was there or not, whether they're pullers or fans or promoters, Jason, just even before this page and everything that you're doing, how tractor pulling,
and I don't talk
that's
about
a blessing.
I don't talk about it a lot, Misty, but my parents got divorced when I was 14, and my dad lives in Iowa still, and my mom moved my sister and I up to Wisconsin, about 3 hours away. And that tractor, my dad had a D21, Alice Chalmers, we called it Blackjack, basically a hot farm or a 3,000 RPM tractor. Then that tractor has kept us best friends until today. Because how else do you get? We had something to talk about. We had something. I can't wait to come down and be with you. And none of my friends, and I said, someday when I can afford to own my own tractor, I can't wait. But and my dad and I still talk about tractor pulling. And he still pulls, I pull. And it's a blessing. And the people, the friends, you've hit it on the head, and there's not one person that's not listening to the show right now that knows exactly what you're talking about. Whether you're just, even the fans have met so many other people over the years. You go to Toma, you go to Bowling Green, you go to some of these legend, is that legend or what's the word? These iconic polls, these names, you know what I mean? Where people, they walk up to you and say, I've been coming to Toma since 1978. I've never missed a poll, and they got every program and they got every T-shirt. And,
I know.
You know what I mean? It's just neat how it goes. It's such a tight knit family. You know what I mean? And
it is.
And I think pulling had its heydays when there's more people farming. I don't think pulling's dead by any means, but I think I think we have room to grow. I think we can get, I would say, the average fan engaged back into the sport again. I'm excited about diesel trucks. I'm excited about mini rods. I think those are a couple classes that have a lot of teeth right now that are bringing new fans to the sport. And then they get to see, if they happen to get to a pole where the Grand National Unlimited Super Stocks are, you just get goosebumps. And when somebody gets to see the highest level of pulling, the Pro Stocks, the Unlimited Supers, the Unlimited Mods, and the Alki Supers like this, that's the highest level of pulling, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
You're right.
Because
and
not enough people realize. You go in the gas stations. Oh, tractor pull this weekend at such and such. You get out there and not ripping on farm stock and stuff like that, but they don't know.
No, I know.
They don't know a tractor like the Bullet exists unless they've seen it on RFD TV or MAV TV or what the Outlaws has, the Masters Entertainment Group. You know what I mean? They don't. It's just not there. The promotion side of it enough. And I'm not ripping on anybody, but I think everybody's doing it. There's a lot of people jumping on social media now, promoting it, but not everybody's on social media either. And I'm starting to ramble a little bit, Misty. But,
no, you're right. But I'll tell you one thing. What you and your team and what the Krieger boys are doing, and the road shows and the podcasts, I put so much stock into those things because, I love to read Miles' articles about, the different women or people's hometowns. I love the humor on your page and how, my gosh, you have almost 600,000 likes. I mean, that's crazy.
We're getting there.
And it's huge. The social media thing, you all see the need for that. You have to get the people to the polls somehow.
Yep.
And, flyers are a thing of the past. Posters are a thing of the past. Seeing it on the gas station door is kind of a thing of the past. And so what you all are doing is, I just love it. And as far as, our team goes, there's nothing I won't do for Beer Money, for Miles Beyond 300, any of those guys to help promote the sport that we love so that my son or daughter, my daughter might, marry a Jordan Lustig. It's hard to say, So I will do anything, and Jordan as well, to help those folks that are tirelessly and thanklessly sometimes, I'm sure, promoting the sport that means everything to our family. Just means everything. And I think it's funny how many kids, well, they're not kids now, they're 20. Here's a prime example. There's a guy out of Rushville, Indiana. His name is Jeremy Lemon. And he's the guy that builds these crazy Lego tractors. He built ours. He won, I don't know, all these awards with him. Well, he has been a Bullet fan since he was a very little boy, like my son's age. Jackson's 3. And would you know that, and he's been a Bullet fan forever, although he's die-hard international, just die-hard. But the Bullet kind of bridges that gap. We have John Deere fans, IH fans, Case fans. But anyway, Jeremy Lemon's been a Bullet fan forever. And I can tell you one thing, he is at least 75% to thank for the design of the new tractor. We were running out of time before Louisville. And I said to Jordan, I was like, I wonder if Jeremy Lemons would know anything, would be able to give us some ideas on design of this tractor. And he sketched it out. We have pictures of it now. This is a kid that just ran across the Bullet at a pull in Indiana 20 years ago, and now he's 75% or more responsible for the look of the new Bullet. And it's just all, I could go on and on and on about it. But to me, the kids are important. Making that connection with the kids, because they come years later and say, I used to come with my grandpa and he liked, slow ride, but I loved the Bullet, and it's just, I just thank you guys for what you're doing, because I don't know how to do it. But it's the way that you're reaching everybody. I can't thank you enough. And I love your show. I'm entertained by the pictures you put up. Half the time I'm like, oh, no, they did not.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they did.
but Misty, at the end of the day, and there's there's a couple people that do it more than the rest of us on the page, but at the end of the day, the entertainment is what we have realized. We wish that we could put a video up with a bullet going 350 feet, and it's going to get 20,000 views, and we put up a funny picture of something else, and it's going to get 100,000 views. But that's how social media works. But at the end of the day, if we get a popular page and we mix it with pulling and humor and fun and our everyday lives, that's what makes it great. But you have summed it up. You have summed it up perfectly, Ryan. What do you?
Yeah, I was just going to say what I think pulling has been missing throughout the years is personality.
Yeah.
And how many people would have known that you were doing Donies in a Suburban?
Yeah.
And
racing in high school.
They would have never known that.
In his E24 against a Firebird.
The stories the backstories that people don't know.
But the personal
about
side of it, the personal side, like we know all the pullers. Like I know all the Badger State guys. I know everything about them, and we've been up till 4 o'clock in the morning with them. And I haven't even made it back to my own trailer before. I mean, just we've had a lot of fun. But the part of it is just the personal side of it, and that's what like you touch on the podcasts and the Let's Grow Pulling shows and anything you do to. Like you watch NHRI on TV and you think of John Force. He's got that great personality. And now, Misty, a lot more people are going to talk to you now. We want you to. I mean, if you don't know that Misty Lustig is cool after this, you shouldn't be driving. You shouldn't drive to the pole. Yes. Okay, get a ride. You know what I mean? But that's what it's about.
I think most people, like at Toma, when you're walking through the pits, they know who you are. I mean,
but there is. You have to admit, before I had my own tractor and my dad, we were just little East Central Iowa pullers, right? When you went to a Toma and you saw a Jordan Lustig or a Rich Lustig, you're just like, holy cow, that's Jordan Lustig. And now I walk up to him like that. But that's the truth. That's the truth. And I don't. The common fan doesn't realize these are just common people with an expensive hobby. Do you know what I mean? And they go talk to him, go get an autograph, go give him a hug.
Oh, please.
You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about.
To talk.
So
there's nobody, like Jordan says, and he's more quiet, But we went to a poll last year. I forget where it was, and I was talking to, I don't even know. It might have been the people, dishing out the baked beans at the hospitality. I don't remember, but so we go to sit down, and Lauren, who's more like her dad, our daughter Lauren, she's more reserved and quiet. We sit down, and she says, "Daddy," or she says, "Mommy, how do you know those people?" I said, "I don't." Jordan says, "Because your mama will talk to anybody about anything, whether she knows what they're talking about or not. It doesn't stop her." But I don't know. Jordan has given me the opportunity to do this, and I'm thrilled that we can. And I feel the way that you just talked about, iconic pullers. I feel that way around Rona Vini. I feel that way at Caesar Kester. One day, my goal, I say this all the time, but I want one of these days for Jordan to say to somebody, I could not be where I am, and that doesn't mean status and money or what. I don't mean it in that way, but I could not be where I am without my wife. I couldn't. The Arlene Archers, the Ronas, the Caesars, they hold it together, and that's all I'm trying to do is hold it together and be the glue that binds.
Well, you're obviously a blessing to the Lustig family and as well as to pulling, and it's clearly evident after. I mean, like I said, I've known you for a while now, and finally got to talk to you at Louisville. And you're a good person, and we need more people to know that. And it's great. It's been great having you on the show, and we've already gone. You've been talking to you for over an hour, and it feels like 15 minutes. Somebody actually said listening to you was like listening to a choir of angels. That was one of the comments on it. But
I paid him. I paid that guy.
But Misty, I mean, 48,400 people this show has reached tonight. Okay, so that's how many people have tuned in a little bit. That's how many timelines it's on now, and that's cool. And then we'll get it up on YouTube and we'll.
Jordan
share it.
says you really are.
She really is. Yeah, it might be a good night at the Lustig household. Put the kids to bed early tonight. Well, it's 9:30 out there. So drink a glass of wine and start making out or something. I don't know.
I just thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. I thought, I'm a Beer Money groupie. I love Beer Money. I listen all the time. Jordan will come home from work, and I'm like, Did you see that on Beer Money? Did you see that? And he's like, I did. I was rolling laughing. I'm like, me too. But thank you so much for the chance.
She might be getting some more calls after this.
Yeah, might be. Check it out. Let's keep George's got to keep you close.
Yeah. With like
Pardon me,
RFD
I didn't
TV
hear.
and the sideline reporting,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Ooh. She could be the new
know.
sideline reporter.
I know.
For RFD TV.
I know you were.
She's prettier than Randall
We did.
by a long shot. So.
We did a show called Small Town Big World, and they focused on the Bullet a couple years ago at Louisville, and it was really neat. It was an RFD show. I've since watched it about a lot of their different topics, and they said they were interviewing Jordan, and I was standing there, and the guy was like, "Well, would you like to be on the show?" And I'm like, "Me?" He's like, "Well, sure." And I said, "Okay." And it was so much fun. I loved it. There's nothing I wouldn't do to promote pulling and the Bullet, especially. And I'm just thankful that you guys let me come on. But
that's what we have
it.
to do, Misty, and hopefully you're contagious enough that you inspired some people tonight to get out there and just promote. And no matter, and I love pulling at all levels, and I'm blessed enough to have the ability to run a limited pro and kind of get a run all the Midwest. I'm blessed with great friends that like Brandon and Ryan that help with the Facebook page, and Ryan sitting next to me to help me with the show, and we're just beyond blessed. And my friends, and you are too with family, and
we are.
It is one big family. And man, this has been a great show. Yes. I don't want to let you go, but I also
I know.
it's time to go.
So we'll definitely have to do like a mid-season report.
I said, as soon as I have to get off this phone, I have to go do bedtime with the 3 and 5-year-olds that don't want to go to bed.
I understand.
Be mom.
So, well, we're going to call you more.
We're
going to call you more often, Misty. This has been a blast.
I would love that.
Please let us know. If you have any ideas or anything you guys need to promote or talk about, we'll get you on for 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll keep promoting. So.
That's great. Thank
awesome.
you guys.
Hey, thank you for everything.
Much.
Gary said, "Don't get in the veggie stand."
Don't try to get in the road. Hey, Gary's a stalker.
Oh.
Gary's a stalker.
Gary has the scariest dog. Wayne and Clyde. Thank you guys so much. Have a good evening.
Hey, take care.
Thanks.
You all take care.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Misty. So, Misty Lustig, everybody, and that's a great interview. Showing the side. I like what we did. Miles touched on it with the women on the Wednesday, showing all the different sides of the sport and stuff like that. And Doug Borth just says showdown 60 days away.
Yep.
Ellsworth, Wisconsin showdown in Kurtztown.
It's about a month after
NTPA Region Pull of the Year last year. Just
Grand
great
National
facility.
Mods this year.
Yeah, there'll be just a couple times the mods will be in Wisconsin, right? The big ones, Toma, and there.
And then of course Hillsborough,
Hillsborough
but on the NTPA side, it'll be
Yep.
That'll be for the 2 times in Wisconsin.
So
and of course, it'll be open in Minnesota.
I know Brandon's putting some videos together for
Olympics.
Doug to promote that, and you'll see with their Facebook page. We've been pushing on our page and different things like that. So, I don't know. That was just a great interview with Misty Lustig, and obviously, if you didn't know the Lustig family, you feel like you do now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it was just great. It was great, and we knew they were. We knew they're good.
Everyone knows the polling side of things, but no one probably knew
Yep.
the inside of how the family operates.
That's why I'm glad or just super happy or blessed that we have the reach that we do, that when we do a show like this and we get out there, thousands upon thousands of people see it. And you hear from people that have came on the show, they're like, people will come up to them 6 months later and say, hey, I heard you on Let's Grow Pulling or on the Beer Money Pulling Team page. And just like them, we're just a couple guys with the Facebook page and got a lot of helpers, and nobody does it for the glory or the money. We're just doing it to have a good time. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So on that note, we'll see you next Monday. We're going to have Stephanie from Smokehouse Country Meats on next Monday night. One of our new sponsors, Let's Grow Pulling. They are the official snack stick and beef jerky of the Beer Money Pulling Team. And I'm excited about the sponsorship thing because, I'm not going after sponsorship for money. Yeah, I want money. Don't get me wrong. I'll pay for costs, but I want something to promote. I want something to put on our shirts, to put on our hats, the koozies to hand out. I want to help somebody grow their business, and that's what sponsorship means to me. And if you talk to Jeff Hodem, and she talked about Sempico, Sempico gives them money, I'm sure, but that's not why. It's more than that.
Yeah,
she
said it was a family affair.
It's a family.
And how many years now? 19 years. Sempico. It's a very long time.
1996.
Yeah, 1996.
4 plus 17, 21 years.
Yeah.
They've been on board, so. And they're loyal.
That's a long time for a sponsorship.
And they have a beautiful rig and different things like that. So, like I said, and then I know Rodney Crum's working on somebody from ITPA, one of the associations we partnered with, and we're talking some Badger State tractor pullers as well. But again, let's run down our sponsors: Hawthorne Tire,
Monticello. They have the Little Green Giant
here. So any new tires, used tires, rims, they'll take care of. They got the Kaiser. They can get you Midwest, whatever you need. Joe Bush Ag Repair.
They have the new pulling tire too.
Yeah, the Pro Puller. That's
Yeah,
what it's called, right?
I believe
I saw
so.
something today that you can. They're financing those. You can get financing.
Really?
I was super busy in training today, but we had
We'll have to
an
look
hour
into
lunch
that a
break,
little
and I
bit
was
more.
flipping through Facebook. Country Smokehouse Meats, we just talked about that. Fair Valley Performance, we had Dennis Fry in a couple weeks ago. They were hiring. They were looking for some help. We shared that out on our page. Hopefully they got that position filled. Of course, ITPA, the Illini State Pullers, Gordyville, Badger State Tractor Pullers, and of course, Ellsworth.
Showdown
in Curd Town. Good night, everybody. Take care.